The Chevrolet Corvette C3 1968–1982 wasn't just a sports car, it was a revolution in design, performance, and survival. Born in the late 60s as a fire-breathing shark-inspired muscle car, the C3 carried America's sports car legacy through the golden era of horsepower and into the challenging years of the oil crisis, strict emissions laws, and changing automotive culture. From the high-performance, big-block monsters of the early 70s to the stylish, fuel-conscious cruisers of the late 70s and early 80s, the Corvette C3 adapted while rivals disappeared. This is the story of how the Corvette didn't just live, it thrived, and cemented its status as America's most iconic sports car. 1968 marked the beginning of a new era for Chevrolet and its iconic sports car, the Corvette. After the success of the C2 Stingray from 1963 to 1967, expectations were sky-high. Chevrolet responded with a car that was unlike anything on American roads, inspired by the Mach-E Shark to concept car. The C3 Corvette debuted in 1968 with sleek, flowing lines, a low stance, and curves that made it look more like a European exotic than a Detroit-built car. The Coke bottle shape, hidden headlights, and removable T-top roof panels gave the Corvette C3 a futuristic edge. Buyers instantly fell in love with its aggressive looks, and sales reflected that success. But beauty wasn't the only thing under the hood. Powerful V8 engines made sure the Corvette was still a beast on the road. Performance and power at launch. The 1968 Corvette came with a wide range of engine options, from a 327 cubic inch small block V8 producing 300 horsepower, to the monstrous 427 big block V8 with up to 435 horsepower. Chevrolet knew the competition was heating up, with muscle cars everywhere offering speed at low prices. But the Corvette played in a different league. It was not just a muscle car, it was America's only true sports car, competing with European brands like Porsche and Jaguar. By 1969, Chevrolet pushed the limits further, introducing the legendary ZL1 Corvette. Powered by an all-aluminum 427 engine, it was a race-bred machine, extremely rare and insanely powerful, with horsepower ratings that far exceeded official factory numbers. The ZL1 is now considered one of the rarest and most valuable Corvettes ever built. The rise of the Stingray name, 1969, while the first year didn't officially carry the Stingray badge. By 1969, Chevrolet brought back the famous Stingray nameplate, this time written as a single word. The car styling was refined with small changes like a new interior layout and easier-to-use switches. But the heart of the car remained the same: bold looks and raw performance. Buyers could choose between a variety of engines, manual or automatic transmissions, and even factory performance packages like the L71 and L88 that turned the Corvette into a track monster. In 1969 alone, nearly 39,000 Corvettes were sold, proving just how strong the demand was for this American shark. 1970 to 1972, the peak of muscle. The early 1970s were a golden age for the Corvette, but Chevrolet also made sure the car remained stylish and comfortable. New seats, interior updates, and minor body changes improved the driving experience. The Corvette wasn't just a drag strip warrior, it was also a grand touring car, capable of crossing states in style and speed. 1971 saw the beginning of a storm. However, to meet stricter emissions regulations, engines began losing compression ratios, and horsepower ratings dropped. For example, the 450 for V8 that once made 460 horsepower was now rated at around 365. Buyers were concerned, but the Corvette still remained at the top of America's performance hierarchy. In 1972, another big shift happened. The U.S. government introduced new horsepower rating standards, moving from gross to net figures. This made the numbers look even lower, even though the cars themselves hadn't dramatically changed. For instance, The 350 V8 that once claimed 300 horsepower was now officially rated closer to 200. Still, the Corvette's speed and style kept it in high demand. 1974. The all-crisis era. The year 1973 changed everything for the American automotive industry, with the OPEC oil embargo causing fuel shortages and skyrocketing prices. Gas-hungry performance cars suddenly seemed impractical. The Corvette, with its powerful V8 South, faced the same challenge. In 1973, Chevrolet redesigned the Corvette's front end, replacing the chrome bumper with a soft, buddy-colored urethane nose to meet new federal crush standards. This marked the beginning of a gradual styling evolution. The rear chrome bumpers disappeared by 1974, replaced by a smooth, integrated design. These changes made the C3 Corvette look more modern, but purists missed the aggressive chrome details. Despite these challenges, Chevrolet continued offering powerful engines like the 450 for big block. But by 1970, emissions rules and fuel concerns had forced horsepower ratings down to around 270. Even so, compared to many competitors who abandoned performance altogether, the Corvette held on as a symbol of power and freedom, legacy of the early Shark era. By 1974, the Corvette C3 had cemented itself as an American icon. While muscle cars like the Charger, GTO, and Chevelle were struggling to survive, the Corvette adapted and endured. It wasn't just a muscle car. It was a sports car with international appeal, blending power, design, and prestige. The early C3 era 1968 to 1970 remains one of the most collectible periods for Corvette fans today. And yet, the story of the C3 was far from over. As the 1970s rolled on, the Corvette would face new challenges, evolving from a muscle-bound shark into a stylish cruiser ready for a changing America. 1975. The end of the big block era. By 1975, the Corvette faced a new reality. The mighty 450 cubic inch big block V8 was retired, marking the end of an era of brutal horsepower. Government emissions regulations and the need for unleaded fuel forced Chevrolet to cut back engine performance. The Corvette S standard 350 V8 now made just 165 to 205 horsepower, a shocking drop compared to the 400 horsepower monsters of the early 70s. But even in this restricted environment, the Corvette still offered more style and performance than many cars on the road. In 1975, Chevrolet also introduced the catalytic converter, which became mandatory on all U.S. cars. While this limited raw power, it kept the Corvette compliant with the new laws and ensured its survival when many muscle cars simply vanished. 1977 still takes the lead. If the Corvette couldn't dominate with raw horsepower, it leaned heavily into style and identity. The mid-70s Corvettes embraced smoother body lines, striking colors, and luxury touches. The car became less of a dragstrip warrior and more of a personal luxury sports car, appealing to buyers who wanted attention and presence as much as speed. 1977 brought another important shift. Chevrolet dropped the Stingray name from the Corvette for the first time since 1969. Though the car retained its shark-like design, the branding change reflected Chevrolet's move toward modernizing its image. Even with less power, the Corvette outsold most competitors. Cars like the Dodge Challenger and Plymouth Barracuda were discontinued, while Mustang and Camaro shrank in size. Yet the Corvette stood tall, remaining a symbol of prestige and individuality. 1978. The 25th anniversary and Indy 500 pace car. 1978 was a milestone year that gave the C3 Corvette a fresh identity. To celebrate the 25th anniversary, Chevrolet redesigned the rear window, introducing a fast back-glass hatch that improved aerodynamics and visibility. The updated styling gave the Corvette a more modern look, and sales soared. The highlight of the year was the 1978 Corvette Indy 500 Pace Car Edition, painted in dramatic black and silver with special graphics. This limited edition became an instant collector's item, with buyers lining up and dealerships charging well above sticker prices. The Corvette wasn't just surviving anymore, it was back in the spotlight. 1,979, 1,980. Popularity at its peak. In 1979, the Corvette reached a historic milestone. Over 50,000 units sold in a single year for the first time, even though horsepower ratings were modest. The Corvette's blend of sleek looks, affordable price compared to European sports cars, and its reputation as America's only true sports car made it a massive success. By 1980, the Corvette received another facelift, with a slicker nose and integrated spoilers to meet new regulations. The focus was now aerodynamics and fuel economy, as buyers demanded efficiency after years of rising gas prices. Engines ranged from 190 to 230 horsepower, but the car's iconic styling and strong identity kept demand alive. 1981. Innovation and Kentucky. Production. The Corvette entered a new chapter in 1981, as production moved from St. Louis, Missouri, to a brand new plant in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where Corvettes are still built today. This marked the beginning of a new legacy. Technological improvements also arrived, including computer-controlled carburation, weight-saving measures, and improved paint quality, even though horsepower numbers still seem low by muscle car standards. The Corvette was evolving into a more refined, reliable, and modern sports car. 1982. The Crossfire injection era, the final year of the C3 generation. 1982. Introduced a major technological step forward: Crossfire injection, a twin-throttle body fuel injection system. While it only produced around 200 horsepower, it set the stage for the fuel-injected future of the Corvette. Chevrolet also released a special collector's edition Corvette, featuring unique silver beige paint, turbine-style wheels, and a rear hatchback glass. It was the first Corvette to break the $20,000 price barrier and marked the end of an incredible 14-year production run. Legacy of the late C3, 1975 to 1982. The Corvette C3 may have started its life as a high-horsepower shark, but by the late 1970s and early 1980s, it became a survivor in a world where muscle cars were nearly extinct, while Mustangs, Firebirds, and Challengers struggled with downsizing and identity crises. The Corvette adapted without losing its soul through its stunning design, innovative features, and loyal fanbase. The Corvette C3 bridged the gap between the golden muscle era of the 1960s and the high-tech sports car revolution of the 1980s. It proved that even in times of crisis, the Corvette would always endure as America's sports car.